Are you bored stiff? Do you want to be reminded that the COVID-19 pandemic shaped the very foundation of what this decade was to come, with the events circling around one small town in New Mexico? And I highly recommend that you should have gone to watch back last year was Eddington.
We need to free each other's hearts.
This movie follows Joaquin Phoenix, who plays Joe Cross, a local town sheriff who is really trying to come to terms with what this pandemic and new rules means for his local patrons of the town. And unfortunately, he gets wrapped up in all kinds of things, which leads him down to a much deeper rabbit hole that he can't escape from. And he is battling Ted Garcia, played by Pedro Pascal, the local town mayor, who is running for re-election again, and they immediately start butting heads. There's already tension as soon as the film starts. Joe Cross uploads a video signaling that he will run for mayor because he believes that the enforcement of lockdown rules plays a huge part in breaking away community. And like I said, the manner in which he goes about doing these things really leads him down a path of no return. The best way I can describe Eddington is that it is a self-destruction movie of the human psychology. You will see every aspect of life back then. There will be no messing with this movie. You will see every side lambasted, joked about, retold in a way that is very in a perfect ball. This movie has everything about that. Yeah, you have both sides of the spectrums being completely at ends with one another when it comes to simple scientific lockdown rules, especially when it comes to masks. And you'll see just the full scale of that year compacted into this small town. There's no escaping from what happened in that year. Everything is just nicely, neatly wrapped into a bow for any future people to wonder, what was it like back in 2020 with the pandemic? You're going to see a whole bunch with this movie. I cannot recommend this enough. This was one of my favorite movies of last year, and I thought, as I've got a little bit of a break in between, I think I'll give some more props about it, because not a lot of people were talking about this movie. During this time, I myself was in the health sector, working during the COVID-19 pandemic, and let me tell you, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't fun, and it was very telling who got what side of their news from and what they thought was right. It's what helps this movie stand out. We're already getting period pieces of this time, and this is the period piece that you would need for just 2020 as a whole. And what followed from it also, because we're seeing the after effects of the COVID-19 pandemic where it comes to AI data centers, which plays a very big part in this movie. It's very subtle, but it is very big about it. We also have the changing of technology and social media through these guises of different aspects of the political spectrum. There's some very good subtle nuance when it comes to both sides of the spectrum when it comes to social media, and how it made things feel more crazier than it was. And trust me, as someone who saw it all happen, I can tell you that it was. It shouldn't have been this crazy, but it was. The only thing that is not mentioned in this movie is the abundance of people collecting toilet paper. There are a lot of things that I can tell you will make you sit up from your coffin when it comes to Eddington. It's a battle of who's right and who's wrong, which happened a lot during the pandemic. But there's a little underling that's inside of this moment in time where the conspiracies took over, and you will see it influence almost everybody in this movie. And that's why I think Austin Butler's character was sort of left out a little bit when it came to this movie. He does play a part in Joe Cross's love life with his wife, played by Emma Stone, who's also really good in this movie. Their relationship becomes estranged when it comes to political life, the conspiracy side of life, especially when it comes to Emma Stone's mother in this movie. And not only that, like I said earlier, the social media aspects of this plays a huge part. The side characters of Ted Garcia's son, as well as the politically charged movements in the area taking shape from across the country. It's very telling. It's very, very good at showing you what people will do in a situation, whether it's desperation, whether it's following the crowd, whether it's being genuine but you get lambasted for not being too correct. Everything is just perfect about this movie. I can't stress enough how accurate it depicts the entire year in this neat little 2.5 hour bundle of a movie. You will have to have a really hard head to watch this one, because it takes no prisoner. This movie hits the nail on the head with everything, trying to get everything from that year to your perspective to show you what it means. You could say that there is no motive for this movie, but I tend to disagree, because it just shows you, it just holds the mirror. That's all it's doing, is holding the mirror up to what humans were like, to what society was like during this period of a major health crisis going on, where people were dying, people had to take measures to slow the spread down, and it was going on for more than what it should have been. Not only does it describe to you in full what that time was like, it also shows you what it led to and what we're currently in now because of this. People say COVID came and went, but really the after effects of this were like long COVID. It stayed around much longer than what you believed to be. Sometimes those moments get played for laughs, sometimes they're really tension filled, and sometimes they're very subtle to the point where you have to rewatch the movie to get a full sense of the scale of what the year gave us in terms of just sheer insanity. And that's what I highly recommend this movie for. I cannot praise this movie enough for being so on the nose, so unabashedly non-biased. It just takes the cake when it comes to describing the self-destructive nature of what humans can't do properly. We just can't help ourselves, can we? I'm sure there's like very different times during this period where people were starting to lose their minds, where they were completely gone by that point. You see Joe Cross struggling to come to terms with the fact that he is getting way out of line when it comes to his methods of running for mayoral office in a town which he thinks is going to back him all the way. And then you've got people who are going to be with Ted Garcia in this and thinking that the measurements of lockdown are appropriate, but Joe Cross is taking advantage of this when it comes to his wife. All the different things happen in this movie, and it kind of winds itself back up together by the end, because then you see the current picture of where we're at today, and it's very... You have to grit your teeth. You will be cringing a lot with this movie, and one thing or another, you are going to be triggered regardless of what side of the spectrum you're on. I already know I'm going to trigger some people just for wearing this mask, but it goes to show you the impact of what a moment like this in time can do for people who will direct movies in the future. These period pieces like Eddington, which was being coined, I believe it will say in the trailer, if I put it at the beginning, the most epic modern western you could think of. I think that to be true. Westerns are not just the spaghetti westerns of the 60s and the 70s. Modern incantations of these genres are really, really good, and Eddington, I believe, is a very good must-watch. If you didn't get to see this last year, I highly recommend that you do. I can't praise it enough. This is a top-tier movie in my opinion, and it needs to be seen multiple times to get the full scale of the picture, and so that you understand just how crazy this time period was. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below what you thought if you have seen Eddington, and if you are going to leave a comment about masks or lockdown or anything political down there, which I know that this movie is going to breed in the comments. But please be civil. I really can't stress that enough, because we've already had this for like the past 5 or 6 years now. I really hope by the end of into the 2030s we can be much more grounded and much more realistic and much more just compassionate to one another. That's all we ask, really. We just need this to be back. But when you watch this movie, you'll see by what I mean when how crazy things used to be. So I do hope you are not bored stiff now, and come back again where we will have another movie ready for you on the coffin table.